It's okay, it takes time.
Welcome back to Strong, everybody. I'm so excited to bring another amazing guest with us here on our episode. For those of you joining us for the first time, thank you for joining our journey. Strong is all about connecting role models from all over the world. It's about sharing real life stories of real life people. And today we are going to be meeting B, who's all the way in Georgia, USA. Welcome, B.
Hola, thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to have you. You're just in such a, the background looks amazing. You look fantastic. You just look so zen out there.
Thank you so much. Even though it's a little cloudy day here in Georgia, it's kind of like make the best of whatever you got.
And isn't that just the way for 2020 is make the best of everything you've got?
Yes, definitely. Like, that's been my motto, like, during this whole year.
Wow. And that's such a great place to begin. Let's start right there. What's it like being in Georgia right now through this pandemic?
Personally, for me, like, it's a little crazy. Like, wearing the mask and stuff like that, it seems to be the new norm and everything. But I also work in a hospital and stuff. So it's just kind of like you're used to it, but then it's still like you're not used to it at the same time. But I feel like it's all about your mindset and how you go upon it to make each day still count.
That's so, so important. And it's quite challenging, isn't it, to make each day count when these days everything just seems to feel kind of surreal and almost like, wow, when is this really gonna kind of be something we talk about in the past tense?
Yeah, I mean, that's very true. I was just talking to some friends and coworkers recently because the holidays are coming up. It's almost like people are kind of like, I don't care anymore. I'm still gonna travel. I'm still gonna go do this and that. Then it's almost like, okay, it still exists. This pandemic is still going on. You don't know if like the charts are gonna rise again, type of thing, with people like really going out and going to their families and stuff for holidays. So you want it to stop. I really wanted to stop. These masks are breaking out my face.
Yeah,
So you just don't know.
you don't know. Wow, that's just, I mean, that's the reality of what's going on. And in talking to people around the world, everyone is experiencing this pandemic in a very different way because it's a really personal experience as well. You have some people who are kind of thriving and creating and doing all these phenomenal things. And then you have others who are really struggling through this time. And it's a time of unemployment for some and mental health issues for others, such a distancing of family and the elderly feeling really isolated and alone. It's quite a surreal. I know I said that before, but it just it feels like something we read about from the past. You know, when you think about pandemics and you think about issues and the appreciation of vaccines right now, things that we take for granted almost every day. We could talk about this forever, but today's all about you, B, and it's really about learning who is B. What's it like to be you on a regular day?
Exciting. It to be me is such it's a blessing. Um, for one, when you ask that question, I feel like a person has to know who they are first, and I feel like I know who I am, and to be me is purpose because I'm still here today. So it's like, each and every day I know that like I'm still here for a purpose and there's no one else like me, you know? And I know that each and every day, even though there's so many things going on and so much stuff on society, or there's social media, feel like um, you're close to somebody else or you gotta be like somebody else. To be me is to be great each day and become greater. each day.
I'm listening to you and I'm just in awe because you're so young. You are so young. How do you wake up so young and yet so positive without the heaviness of what if in the future?
I mean, definitely not perfect. Definitely not perfect. I'm strong in mindset. If we have to revert back a little bit of like what COVID have done for a lot of people, I can't speak for a lot of people. I hate some of the negative things, of course, that have happened. I don't want to wish that on anybody. But for my personal journey, like waking up today was like COVID made it better. Like the times of like being in quarantine by yourself or whatever like that is just mindset, mindset, mindset. So each day I just wake up with what is the mindset. Like for 2020, a lot of people was yelling Vision 2020, like when 2020 was coming in, it was like this big old thing to like, of course, like think different, feel different or whatever like that. So my thing is like, even in the midst of all this, can your mindset tell you each day Vision 2020 despite the odds? So that's kind of what I go on, like what I really want and what I want to accomplish, and just knowing that it's easy to like stay within the negative or stay into like, oh, it's not gonna happen to me, or So my each day of waking up is like, I want greater. I will achieve greater. Does it get hard? Do you not want to wake up sometimes? You have to throw yourself out of bed sometimes. This is true. Every day is not like Sunday morning, as we call it here in the South. However, just make best with what you got for right now, especially knowing your past.
Let's go back into your past. What was it like to be you when you were much younger? And take us through that journey to your current state.
Um, I definitely grew up in a big supporting background with my family. On my mom's side, it was just myself and my younger brother or whatever. And we definitely grew up on like, making ends meet and everything. But definitely still having a roof on our head. Then my mom as a single parent working very, very hard to support us and stuff. And like I said, family supporting, of course, when they can. As I call my grind, my hustle, my grind, it started at an early age, seeing my mom work so hard and stuff like that, and even still being in school and being active. Like I always danced, I always was like in musical theater and stuff like that. But in, I think like the 10th grade, I got a job. Like I got a job at a grocery store called Piggly Wiggly. It's so country. But I got a job there and that taught me my grind. So ever since then, I've been working. So I have always had like a work strong mentality. And I think that what started making me stronger, just seeing my mother being so strong and me wanting to be stronger for her, which made me strong. But that wasn't always, like the best feeling, because even working and going off to college and working is like, I want to be able to like just study and not have to go to work. I want to be able to like go out to these events and parties and stuff like that and not like be so young and working all the time. However, looking back at that, I won't change it because it have made me like as strong as I am today to like go back to what you said, still get up out of bed and be positive and go get what you want, because I don't have a lazy background. Like I have a go get it mentality.
I love hearing you talk about the story when you were younger and that relationship that you had in watching your mom as a single mother. What's that like when you, especially when you go off to college and you meet other young people and you see that their life might on the surface seem easier with you having to work and study? What was that like for you? And you said that you wouldn't change anything. It's helped make you who you are today. How do you see that intertwining with the, growing up to who you are today?
It was a hard look, because I had like friends and stuff surrounding me who didn't have to work, and I asked the whys a lot. I asked the whys. I had like the stress, I had the migraines, I had the overwhelming of the why do I have to go through this? Not understanding, of course, at that point. Um, I had to just realize that, I knew that there was always something in me and why I had to do this. I just didn't know those whys at that point. Looking at everybody else's story and seeing them do what they do, it was like, I wish I could or whatever like that. But I got to do what I got to do, So it was just, I got to do what I got to do type of mentality. And going into now, like I said, by saying that I wouldn't change it, it's kind of just like, what if I didn't? What if I had so many people also too that didn't go through the same experience, which is fine because everybody's experience is different. But I had people who didn't, and I've seen their stories like right now, kind of get to a point that maybe they're not as strong, or you know, they look at things like, everybody's situation puts you at an advantage of looking at things like very different. So me growing up, as I say earlier, than I wanted to or whatever like that, it helps me for now as an adult, where there are some people who were around me who now are like either getting it or not getting it, and I'm not saying they had to work to get it or they had to go through the same situation that I went through, but I know because of my situations, it made me grasp life a little different at an early age to where I can think like this, which helped me. It's so beneficial because I get questions a lot, like you just asked, like how are you like young and you like you're so positive and you think like you think and you do like you do, and I'm just like, life experiences. Everybody life experiences are different, and I just use mine to my advantages.
Who taught you how to do that?
Like use my experiences to my advantages, type of thing. Other than life, I mean, I think like it was a moment for me in college when I first went off to my 2-year college at Darton State University in Albany, Georgia. There were moments where like it was a moment toward the end, right before I graduated. And I was like really, really down about a situation that could have like broke me, type of thing. And at that moment, I had a friend. I had a friend who was like very spiritual and very motivational. And I remember they would go outside and like they'll just be looking up with a smile and just so much positivity and inspiration. We're young kids in college. I'm like, how are you so like positive and special? And he told me that the way that he looked at life and stuff like that. So he guided me toward that direction spiritually, on how he was looking at stuff and everything like that. And I really listened at that point. And it kind of helped me because within that make or break a situation, with school and the feelings that I was feeling at that age or whatever like that, it made me so much wiser. It made me so much more positive. It made me have a better outlook on stuff that like, within that hard, really, really hard, tough feeling in my life, that there's still ways to be positive. There's still ways to succeed. So that situation, other than life or whatever like that, but that personal situation really kind of took me where I needed to go. And since then, I kind of just been leveling up.
That's really amazing. Leveling up. I like the sound of that. What does it mean to you, leveling up?
It means to keep climbing the ladder, like keep going up, even though sometimes you may feel like, okay, it's getting a little too high. Let me climb back down because maybe I'm nervous, maybe I'm scared, maybe this really not for me, or maybe it is for me. Like, do I want to go back down? But it's like, no, you keep climbing, knowing that like the success is up there, that full purpose is up there, that light at the end of the tunnel is up there. is it hard to probably climb a ladder if you just don't do that on a daily per se to use that? Yeah, it's definitely hard, but it looks like knowing, like I said earlier, that you're already great and you're trying to become greater.
Would you say that that constant drive to move forward, to climb the ladder, to be a better version of who you are every single day, would you say that that can potentially lead to a feeling of like, oh, am I ever going to get there? I just want to give up. I just want to let this all go. I can't do it anymore. Or do you feel that moments like that are just part of the journey, and we should just, robotically keep going until we kind of find that momentum again where we can pick up that positivity? Because I heard you saying, I'm not perfect, and of course not every day is easy to get out of bed. So what I'm trying to understand, because I know that the young people today, it's almost this, it needs to happen now, and it needs to happen positively. It shouldn't feel so hard. And it's almost like we see them trying and then they give up because it doesn't happen as quickly as they hope it will. And I sometimes wonder if, as adults, we're almost misguiding them and reminding them to keep going. And that's why I'm asking you, in your experience, being so young, having to work and study and kind of find your way along that path, did you ever, or do you ever think that sometimes we just raise the standards too high and we almost can drive ourselves to burnout?
Yeah, I definitely feel that. Before thinking such as my mindset, and I would say my mindset of thinking like this have like genuinely been a thing for maybe like only about 2 years now or whatever like that. Before that, I felt the way that you just said. Like, I definitely have felt like, society makes it seem like it got to happen now. Or as we make ourselves feel like, it got to happen now. You want it to happen now. Like, if it's not happening now, it's not good or whatever like that. And for majority of people, I feel like that's why they stop. Like, that's why they don't keep going. Like, for example, myself, who's into fitness, who teach a whole dance fitness class, I get people who maybe come take my class sometimes or want to try it out or whatever like that. And they have fun. They do good, but sometimes they don't come back or whatever like that because it might be too hard, or it might be like, they thought they was ready, but they're really not ready yet. That's why I tell people first, like, mind first, then the body will follow or whatever. Because if you're not mentally ready to kind of go on the journey that you're trying to go on, which you never fully mentally ready, but you have to continue to prepare yourself. And you prepare yourself, I feel, in so many different ways. You have to know that you get to a point that you know that it's okay that it's not happening when you want it to. A lot of my stuff never happened when I wanted it to. I have a younger brother who used to feel like, or who, I don't know if he still feels like this, but I know at one point he would feel like, this didn't happen the way that I wanted, I'm just going to give up or whatever like that. Or he would look at me in the sense of like, everything happens the way that you want. And I'm like, don't ever think that. Stuff don't ever happen the way that I want. I just, when it don't happen, I pretty much embrace the feeling, but don't become the emotion behind it, in a sense. I understand what's kind of going on. And I'm just like, okay, not fully accept it, but also just like, what else can you do to keep pushing or whatever? So with this world that we live in and the dreams and trying to keep going or whatever like that, I tell people to keep pushing, but that doesn't mean like have your moment. Like if you need to be off of if you need to take a moment off social media, or if you need to like just take a breather or stuff like that, that's what, people do need to hear more. Like, take your moment. That doesn't mean you're quitting. That doesn't mean you're stopping. Consistency is key all the time, because it is. But that just means like today in my motivational group, I sent out the message this morning saying that like, okay, yesterday is already gone. If everything that you wanted yesterday didn't happen, okay, cool. let's go for today. Let's get it done today and for your future or whatever like that. Because it's not going to happen every day.
That's so true. That's so true. Again, I'm in awe. I'm just in awe. I think the youth today, young people like yourself, and I say that because you're so young. I know I keep saying that. And you know, I think that this generation, your generation, you're so evolved and so emotionally intelligent and so in touch with what you're feeling and consciously aware of how to move yourselves forward. Let's go backwards. Let's go back to a time when you weren't as emotionally skilled as you are today. What was the hardest challenge that you remember this far in your life?
I think like I said, at one point I experienced migraines sometimes. So I think like the hardest moments were like when I wasn't positive or when I allow other people to dictate certain stuff, or I looked at the opinions of other people and just like using the word stress. I don't typically like using that word anymore or whatever like that, but actually feeling stress, knowing what stress was like, feeling all those feelings and just feeling sick because migraines do my for me to I have always been an energetic, positive person to a certain extent, but like in those moments, not knowing what's what and getting those migraines and that aspect was just horrible because migraines, if anyone has ever experienced them before, you know, migraines sometimes can take you mentally to a whole nother place. Like, you know, any little sensation, any little lights and stuff like that. So to already experience a migraine on top of feeling like so negative, so down, like, what am I really here for? Like, you know, like even if it was a person you were in a relationship with and it wasn't going good and not understanding your worth, like at those moments, not even knowing your worth, not knowing your value, on top of feeling bad and on top of migraines all at the same time, it's not a pleasant feeling.
And how did you get through those moments?
Like I said, I think when I always been into my spirituality. Like I was raised in church and everything like that. But you raised in it as a kid and stuff like that. But as you get older, you kind of get your own outlook of how you want your spirituality or not. So I think like once I got closer within my spirituality and I really just sat down and I listened and I eventually started doing meditation and just surrounding myself or listening to people that, you know, would help me get out. I'm a big Joel Osteen fan. I know in college, when I was going through what I was going through before I graduated, I also had another friend who put me on to Joel Osteen, and we would watch his sermons on Sundays and stuff like that. And that was like years ago. And to this day, like I still watch his sermons. I still read his books. I still, you know, get his messages. So I started realizing that I can't be in my mind by myself. You know, you do always have people around you. You always, you know, you have so much going on or whatever. And I used to be in my mind so much. And I was just like, I had to realize I needed to allow something else into my mind that was positive. Things that were I was always doing stuff that was fun for me, of course. I always danced, I always had positive people around me. But you know, when you get older, no one really they tell you how they want you to live or what it should look like. But your experience is your experience yourself, and you don't know how you're gonna experience life. You would never know, even as your parents raise you, or if they don't raise you. But you just never know how you're gonna experience life. So for me, I use the things around me, or the people around me, or the advantages of like motivational speakers or something like that around me to kind of start uplifting me. And then I realized, like, I always knew that was a motivational, inspirational voice in me, but it was like deep inside. And it's just like it started coming out until you realize, like, this is who I am. I'm part of these people. Like, these people were meant to be around me. Like, these these spiritual guidance, or these motivational speakers, or these readings and stuff like that. It was meant to happen because I was part of that particular journey to be such as them, such as yourself, like people that are out here already like inspiring and just being strong for other people. You know, you guys are like the lead way for some of us in the younger generation.
I'm hearing you say this, and I'm thinking, me? It's really an honor for you to be putting me in such a category. B, let's talk a little bit about love. I know that you mentioned the importance of genuine love. And I'm loving season 2 right now, because in talking with men and women across the age groups, I'm able to begin to understand what love means to different people. But you mentioned genuine love. What does that mean?
Genuine love is love. You know, love, people see love in all type of ways or whatever like that. And it could be like having love for a person, or, you know, love for something or a situation or whatever like that. But something that's genuine, you know, is pure, is natural, is real. I'm all about real and honesty and stuff like that. And I can't speak for everybody the way that love comes, but sometimes I feel like, you know, we use certain words all the time, and it's kind of just like we just use it to just say it, or you just use it because you heard it or whatever, or you use it because, yeah, maybe you mean it and maybe you don't, but like, is it genuine? Is the love that you come up towards somebody else or something that's genuine? I know for me personally, for example, anything that I help and inspire or tell people about, or, you know, want others to succeed, like, as much as like, I'm just like, surround yourself around people that want to see you win, and vice versa. Like, that's genuine love for what somebody else is doing. Not because like it sound good, not because it look good, not because someone else told you this is how it's supposed to be said and done. That's genuinely in you, and that's genuinely the love that you bring in everything that you do. It doesn't change. It doesn't get mixed up. It doesn't get mixed up if you get extra money in your life, if you get extra, like, you know, feed on social media, you know, that love is genuine through everything.
I know that you work in healthcare. What's that like right now, walking into a hospital? And how are you staying resilient through, obviously, the mixed emotions of what you're experiencing every day?
Now it's a little better. If you would have asked that question about 2 to 3 months ago, it was crazy. It was crazy going in there wearing all the stuff that we have on our face and head, knowing that you did choose this field, and, you know, you're gonna do what you have to do, but still being nervous about, you know, going back to your family or friends, or your, like, wherever you're going to, um, knowing that you came from the hospital. Once again, like I said, I get migraines sometimes. I was having moments, which I still have sometimes, that even the mask around your ear, it can, the sensation hurts my ears sometimes, and it can create my headache. And you know, you're in your job, you're in your healthcare. These people are sick, and you're not trying to go in there feeling like down and bad and in your mood. So you kind of gotta be strong for yourself and for that patient. And I work with physical therapy, so I work with other therapists, occupational therapists, and physical therapists on an inpatient setting at one of the most top burn hospitals here in Augusta, Doctor's Hospital. So it's just like working with people with these wounds and stuff. It's like, it's a lot. It was definitely overwhelming at first. It was I had to take moments to just go to the corner and just take the mask off my face and to just breathe, like, in the corner, because, you know, it's hot. You're wearing it all day. I don't know if you've seen the pictures, but at one point, you know, we were seeing the pictures all on TV with, like, taking your mask off, and people at the end of the day really having the little, you know, little small scars just from like having a mask on all day. It was a thing. It's still a thing, but I think now because stuff have become more of a norm, you know, we're not as affected. It's kind of like you know what you're doing it for, and it's like this is what we chose, and we just do what we have to do for the people, because our motto is above all else, we're here for the care and, you know, the support of the people, pretty much. And so now I still have the moments with the headaches and everything, but you just kind of get through it, and you just hope for the best with like other people, because knowing that I work in a hospital is kind of like I immediately come home and I go ahead and like wash and everything and put my clothes to the side. But it's almost feel like you want to go home for Thanksgiving. You know, I have an older generation of family, you know, you still don't want to, even though I could be very much so asymptomatic and really just don't know it. Like we take our temperature and stuff every day. We do the precautions that we need, but you just still never know. And you hate that this still exists, actually.
In front of me, I see a beautiful, intelligent, independent, inspiring, incredible woman. What do you see when you look in the mirror?
Girl, I see all of that, for one.
I love it.
Definitely see all of that. I see ambition. I see, you know, a story and a journey that will be shared amongst other people, that's going to help new generation come in, because we have this new generation that's coming into all of this, and they're seeing so much of like maybe the fake is what I call it sometimes. You see like how bodies and stuff like may look online or on magazines or on movies, and you think like this is supposed to still be like, you know, I see someone who's honest and real and, you know, God-given energy sent, who wants to and will make a difference in this world called life before, you know, it's their time to leave. A go-getter.
What do you want to leave behind when your time has come to an end?
My full purpose. My full purpose that was meant for me here. You know, I don't want to leave behind anything that I wish I could have did, should have did. And I think that's part of my drive every day too, because I don't want to leave behind I just existed. I want to leave behind I lived and I conquered everything despite odds, despite moments of vulnerability, negativity, or whatever like that. She did that. And I smile, think about her. I miss her, you know, but I smile because, or the people, they smile because it's like, whatever what was meant for her, it was meant and it happened. And I'm pleased with that.
Have you ever had a conversation with your mom and told her about what you've learned on that journey and who you are today?
No, I haven't actually. No, I really have. I mean, she knows. She see the growth because, you know, we're in two different locations or whatever like that. She doesn't. It's about an hour and 45 minutes difference type of thing, but it's kind of like she probably knows the strong person and then knows the person that, you know, I've been, but like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna be sending her this YouTube channel, everything together.
I think you're incredible, B. I really do. And I think that what you stand for more than anything is strength of character, genuine, authentic. And I think anyone watching this right now will look to you with inspiration, because the way that you're expressing your experiences and the way that you're talking to us about your life, it just comes out so comfortably and naturally. And I think sometimes when strong, as we say, people tell their stories, the audience will listen to the stories and they'll almost put this person on a pedestal. And I think sometimes we do a disadvantage for our audience because strong people make life look seamless and they make it look easy. What do you know that you wish you knew when you were younger to keep you going and keep you resilient? Because there's a young person watching this right now looking at you and saying, wow, I'll never be that confident. You know, just in asking you, what do you see when you look in the mirror? You were totally like, I see that girl. And that kind of confidence is something that we see young people and women and men of all age groups still struggling with. What do you wish you knew way back when that you know can help somebody watching this right now?
Like genuinely that it can happen to anybody. You know, my answer of, you know, what I see now is what you said, what I see now. You know, and like you said, and I love that you said, like, if someone's younger watching this, because that's part of my journey too, to give back or speak on, like, you know, that it wasn't always like this. Don't ever take this particular energy or this interview or like what you see me online. Like, don't ever take that was my forever. You know. So if I look back, it's just like, know that that's not a person forever. You know, like you're still growing, you are still learning, and the to be, you know, confident and stuff like that is a thing every single day. You know, is more like if somebody's watching this, it's like it's more than what you see right now. It's more than like this story. Like it's more than the ambition and the joy that you see behind me. Like I just had to have confidence to even be on this conversation with you. But it's just like, how bad do you want it? Like it's kind of just like you can really do it. Of course, you can't hear my whole story and journey just by this interview. Just like with yours and stuff like that, you have to go back and maybe listen to people's stuff. But it's just like whatever you genuinely put your mind to, I just feel like you can accomplish it. And if you want to tell yourself you can be confident, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen. I mean, it's like I said, it's still happening. It's happening within this conversation that we're having. So if I say that, that means like you always going to have room for growth. So
I love how you're saying that because that's exactly how I see it as well. It's not a destination, it's a journey, and life is a journey. And I think sometimes we think the easy days should be every day, and we struggle with the hard days, but evolving and growth happens with change, and change happens through those challenges, doesn't it? Do you see that through your life experiences as well?
yes, you actually like you need the hard days. You need them because my thing is this: if everything is easy, you're not gonna work hard for nothing. If everything was given to us, if anybody is into their spirituality and everything was going the right way all the time, and you didn't get the test of the negativity, you wouldn't appreciate what you really have. You wouldn't really appreciate having to, you know, go really and be into your spirituality and pray or whatever you may or may not do. You know, you need the negativity. I tell you, not the negative, but you need some of the hard moments. Because like I said earlier, with like working at the early age, was it hard trying to do that and go into school? Yes. But clearly I needed those moments to make me who I am. Like if I had to wish anything on anybody, of course you would wish that it will all be easy for everybody type of thing. But you kind of need them. And what's the thing is, people think it's easier to be, you know, positive. It's actually harder. It's actually harder to say, I'm going to still get out of bed and try to attempt to do everything I really want to do. What is easy is sitting back. What is easy is I'll do it tomorrow. What is easy is I'm going to keep putting off my life dreams and hopes and desires. What is easy is like, you know, thinking that like my fear is so bad that I don't have faith within 2020. You know, what is easy is just sitting there being mediocre. It is harder to have this mindset. It is harder to kind of keep pushing yourself in a pandemic. Like, you know, in the society that we live in, it is so much harder to do these positive things. But it's because of those crazy, maybe weird situations that you don't understand. You ask, why is it happening to me? What did I do? You know, like, especially when you're a good person type of thing, it's kind of just like, what did I do to go through this? And I had many of those moments. Like, you know, I'm a good person, so why me? But at the end of the day, it's kind of just like, I see why. I hate them. I hate that they happen. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to go back to them, but it's here for the strong person today.
You're incredible. Really, truly incredible. I could talk to you forever, B. I could talk to you forever, but this comes right to the end. I do have one last question. Where do you see yourself developing and evolving over the next few years of your life?
Like I said, I'm in Georgia. I'm in Augusta, Georgia. And I see myself getting out of Augusta, Georgia, because it's okay, but it's not where my like-minded people are fully at. I see myself involving around a newer community of people that are ready to go where I'm already there. You know, like, I have a good amount of people here, don't get me wrong, or my family people, but I'm breaking generational curses. I'm changing the narrative of my story. So what that looks like for me is true growth in another location where, actually, to be very transparent and honest, I kind of don't know yet. I'm actually looking into, you know, maybe relocating to Charlotte, North Carolina. But I'm in a journey of like, what within my spirituality, what that looks like for me is what I want. And sometimes you don't know what that looks like just yet. So what you do is you continue to go on the path of the things that you do know. And then with that, the other stuff comes as it goes, if that makes sense. So I know, though, it's going to be great. Wherever that place is, it's going to be great. And I'm going to continue to inspire and be a light for those and let them know that real is real. And you can do it. It's not going to be easy, but I come a long way, and most people do come a long way. So it's kind of just like how you're trying to change your narrative from the ways that you came.
I love that. Change the narrative. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, B. It's just been inspiring talking to you. And that brings us to the end of another incredible interview with another incredible guest. Strong is all about connecting real life people, sharing real life stories. The aim is that we create a global community where together we can feel connected and learn from each other. And it doesn't matter where we live around the world, what language we speak. What matters is that we share our stories so that we can empower the youth with connection and understanding. Thank you for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you all at our next Strong interview. Thank you.
It's okay.